I sent out a little message the other night about the barbecue meatballs that we had for dinner, and it really got my mind to reeling, which I kind of sent the little message out and cued you into that already. But I'm going to just put in a little plug here. I bought, you can see the size of this bag. I bought this bag of meatballs the other day. It weighs 5 pounds, and there's probably enough to feed. There's probably enough to feed your family more than 5 times. And then I also bought a barbecue sauce in half-gallon jug, and it's almost half gone, but we've probably had at least 3 meals out of that, little meals here and there. And then I want to talk about putting it in a canning jar for a minute. This is just a standard canning jar. I try not to take it for granted that everybody knows these things, because everybody doesn't. Sometimes you can find one-piece canning lids. This is a 2-piece canning lid. It has a sealing compound on the back side of the lid. And then this is a ring band. They fit together. Obviously, they go on the top of the jar. Canning jars can be used for freezing as well as for canning. Now, how long do you think it would take if you had a funnel to, this is probably a bigger size jar than I would use. I'd probably use pint jars, but I didn't have one handy to show you. How long do you think it would take you to pour the meatballs in this jar and then pour some sauce over them? 2 minutes, maybe? And if you don't fill it too full and put it snugly tight, you can stick this in your freezer. And then let's say it's Tuesday night and you want to have barbecue meatballs on Wednesday. You take this out of your freezer, put it in your fridge overnight so it begins to thaw somewhat. Make sure your lid is still reasonably snugly tight. If your crock pot is deep enough, of course, if you had a pint jar, it wouldn't be a problem. Just put this down into your crock pot. Pour some lukewarm water in your crock pot. Excuse me, I got hiccups. Put the lid on before you start your day, or when you start your day, and by nighttime it should be ready to eat with whatever you want to eat it with. Mashed potatoes is really good with it. You have mashed potatoes, french fries, baked potatoes, rice, noodles, bread, biscuits, practically anything. Corn muffins. We did have some corn muffins the other night that weren't too good, and we figured out we like one of the mixes better than the other ones. I like the add water only mix the very best. Let's see, where was I going with this? Okay. In the little message I wrote that it would be an awesome thing to can. If you have a taller canner that holds a double stack of pints, you should be able to get 16 to 18 pints in your canner at one time. So if you just filled your jars, put your lids on, stick them in the canner, bring it up to 10 pounds pressure, let it go for 90 minutes, turn it off, walk away, let it cool down all by itself. I let my canner sit for an hour or two to let everything settle down, because it's boiling inside those jars. It's boiling furiously inside the jars. And then just I let it sit a while, a good couple of hours, and I take the lid off and I let it set a little while longer, because the more gradually you let the pressure change, the more jars are going to seal, the less likely you're going to have breakage. Your percentages will run higher if you do things more gradually. Same as heating it up. I do it kind of gradually. I don't just put cool jars into a rolling pot of boiling water, because the bottom of the jar can drop right out of it. Okay, so you could freeze these, and you could also, we have an awesome supplier, and I'm thinking more seriously about starting to ship food again. I probably will make up my mind by September. But we have maybe you have a place that you can get these kinds of things, but we can get 46-ounce cans of sweet and sour sauce and 46-ounce cans of Swedish meatball sauce. And so you could easily can 2 or 3 loads in a day, or 1 load every day, or whatever, and you could have 18 pints of meat product in every load. It would be really nice for sweet and sour meatballs, Swedish meatballs, barbecue meatballs, barbecue pork, barbecue chicken, sweet and sour chicken with vegetables put in it. If I were going to do the sweet and sour chicken with vegetables in it, I would take thawed out, skinless, boneless chicken breast, cut it into chunks or slices, and I would put a mixture of that and whatever veggies you want in it. Celery, onions, colored peppers, red, green, yellow peppers, what have you. Water chestnuts I'd probably add later. I don't know if I would put snow peas in to the canner, in the jars in the canner. I probably would freeze those. So I'd probably add the water chestnuts and the snow peas later. But you could do that with pork or with chicken for sweet and sour. Do it in pints or half pints or quarts. Freeze it or can it. So you have a meal in a jar, and just same thing, serve it with rice, serve it with noodles, serve it with mashed potatoes, serve it with baked potatoes, serve it with whatever you want. Bread, rolls, whatever. So back to the topic. All those different kinds of meatballs, all those different kinds of meats with either sweet and sour sauce or barbecue sauce. The Swedish meatball sauce, I'm not sure what else you'd want to use it for besides meatballs. And I think I already said that I think I paid about $6 for that. I don't know if I said that, $6 for that 5-pound bag of meatballs. And I bet you probably get more than 8 pints out of that bag. So for the meatballs alone, you're going to have less than $1 a pint. Then the sauce is going to be probably, I'd have to do the math. I'd have to see how much sauce it takes to fill a pint, but I'm definitely less than $1 a pint for the sauce. So for less than $2 a pint, you can have sweet and sour meatballs, or you could have barbecue meatballs ready to go. My family liked it pretty well. This barbecue sauce was really, really good. It has just a little bit of bite to it. It's a sweet barbecue sauce. It's just a little bit of bite to it. The kids, it might be just, it's not hot. It just has a little bite to it. It might be too much for the little kids. You might want a more mild one, but definitely if I start shipping, this will be one of the items that I would want to offer. Again, we just have a really nice selection of things that we have access to. I'm not pushing it yet because I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. I'm trying to think if there was another meat. I think you could, I'm going to do some experimenting if I have the energy and strength to do it. I think you could probably do scalloped potatoes and ham, because you can buy those in those little cups at the store, scalloped potatoes and ham, and with a zip top. Same process. It's done the same way under pressure, canned under pressure. I need to research that, but generally speaking, anything that you can buy in a can or in one of those containers, you can can at home. I will probably end this video now because I just wanted to talk about the meats and the sauces. It's also possible though to can. My favorite thing to can really is hamburger, probably by far in the meat category. Turkey with gravy, chicken with gravy, chicken soup mixed chicken soup with the vegetables, chicken and broth and vegetables ready for the noodles. It'd be probably better to use the noodles later, but you buy chicken noodle soup in the store, so I'm guessing you could, if anybody has canned chicken noodle soup or anything with pasta in it, I would like to hear from you, at least in the comment section. 8 minutes and 45 seconds, so I'm going to end that here. It just really got my mind to reeling. You can knock this out so fast. You can go to your grocer and buy pork and beef roast, and you can do beef roast and gravy. This is something I really want to do more of. I've done some in the past, but I haven't been canning the last few years for good reasons. So God bless your night. And if you try some of these things, please let us know. One of the ladies wrote about canning taco meat, and I'm going to go back and try to find that message again and read it. But she took I'll just cover it now the best I can, and if I left anything out, I'll put it in the comments. But she had burger, and she fixed it up as taco meat, and I think she said she canned it in pints, and she still had some left over, the taco meat, so she took that and made chili out of it with, I thought she said pinto beans, and canned several quarts of chili, and it is just the most wonderful feeling to have that stuff on the shelf. We used to have 100 quarts of cherries on the shelf, 100 quarts of green beans on the shelf, probably 50 of peaches and pears, applesauce, pear butter, What else in the way of fruits? Remind me to tell you the watermelon story. I'm going to write that down. That's a good one. Watermelon story. Anyway, if you decide you're going to try this, give us a little report after you're done. And I'm going to end now that we're 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Thanks. Bye.